Good day everybody, my name is Godfrey Chivuo and I'm a student in UCT doing my PhD in medical virology. I'm going to give you a talk on plants and photosynthesis for this presentation, and I hope you enjoy. Question would be what plants are. Plants are known to be autotrophs. These are individuals which are able to make their own food, and they do this by the process called photosynthesis. In contrast, individuals which cannot make their own food are known as heterotrophs. So what is photosynthesis? It's a process in which plants make their own food, and it requires three major components known as energy from the sun, water, carbon dioxide. And the whole process takes place in the chloroplast. Summarized equation for photosynthesis is basically known as 6 carbon dioxide molecules plus 6 water molecules plus energy gives you a glucose molecule with 6 oxygen molecules. Photosynthesis is very beneficial. It benefits us by giving us food and also by providing us with oxygen. We all know that in terms of food and oxygen, these are essential for life to exist on Earth. It also plays an important role in the ecology by providing energy from the sun to the plants and energy from the plants to the herbivores and from the herbivores to the carnivores. This in turn creates what we call a food web. And we are also involved in that food web, where energy is transferred from one point to the next in between individuals. So the question is, how do they do this? They actually consist of millions of cells, and each individual cell has a dozen of other smaller cells which are known as chloroplasts. Each of these chloroplasts carry out the process of photosynthesis. The picture you see represents a leaf, and within the leaf, cells of the leaf. These cells, within them, there are smaller round cells, green-like structures known as the chloroplast. The chloroplast is what is responsible for photosynthesis. Within the chloroplast, you have the grana, the stroma, the thylakoid, the thylakoid membrane. Within the stroma, a lot of stuff happens there, and we will see as we proceed. Photosynthesis is divided into two stages, stage 1 and stage 2. Stage 1 is known as the light-dependent stage of photosystems. Stage 2 is known as the light-independent, known as the Calvin cycle. In the first stage, light from the sun is converted into chemical potential energy, which then is necessary to produce ATP and NADPH to fuel the light-independent reaction. In the light-independent reaction, ATP and NADPH is used to produce sugars, which are necessary for life and also formation of other complex molecules. The table you see shows the light-independent reaction and where it takes place. It basically takes place in the thylakoid membrane, and its reactants are sunlight and water. And the end products are ATP, NADPH, and oxygen. For the light-independent reaction, it takes place in the stroma. The reactants are ATP, NADPH, and carbon dioxide. The end product is glucose. The light-dependent stage, or the photosystems stage, consists of two photosystems, photosystem 2 and 1. We call them photosystem 2 and 1 because it starts with photosystem 2. In photosystem 2, energy is made from ADP to ATP. In photosystem 1, energy is made from NADP to NADPH. This energy in turn is then used in the light-independent cycle. To summarize, we can look at this diagram. Water is first split into hydrogen molecule. That's the first thing that happens. Two hydrogen molecules are then moved with an electron carrier with high energy. When light heats it up, hydrogen goes up, and then it goes to the second stage. Second stage, it undergoes the electron transport chain. During this stage, that's when ATP is formed. From there, it goes to photosystem 1, wherein the hydrogen gets heated up again or energized, and then it undergoes another transport chain, which gives a result end product of NADPH. From there, carbon dioxide from the atmosphere moves to the leaf, into the cell, into the stroma, where it binds with RUBP, a 5-carbon molecule, and it forms a 6-carbon molecule, which is unstable. This 6-carbon molecule, which is stable, breaks down into two 3-carbon molecules known as PGA. PGA simply stands for phosphoglycerate. ATP from the light dependent stage then phosphorylates the 2 PGA into being a biphosphoglycerate, and then ATP loses one phosphate, becomes an ADP, a diphosphate. Furthermore, the BPGA gets a hydrogen from NADPH, which was formed on a previous cycle, the light-dependent stage, and it forms what we call PGAL, or phosphoglyceraldehyde. Two molecules of phosphoglyceraldehyde are enough to make one molecule of glucose. But wait, if that is the case, then this is not a cycle. If we look at our photosynthesis equation, you need 6 carbon dioxide molecules rather than 1. So if we had 6 carbon dioxide molecules, you'll then have 6 of the unstable molecules. You'll have 12 PGAs, you'll have 12 BPGAs, and you will have 12 PGAL. 2 will be used to make a molecule, and you'll be left with 10. So 10 PGAL molecules will then be utilized to make RUBP by the ATP phosphorylating it into being RUBP. In summary, the two stages of photosynthesis, light dependent and light independent. Energy is produced from the light dependent, which is used in the light independent to produce glucose molecules. In the light dependent, oxygen is released as a byproduct. Now there are factors which affect photosynthesis. One of the factors is known as light. When light increases, photosynthesis increases and reaches a threshold. Another factor is carbon dioxide, which does the same thing. As it increases, photosynthesis increases, but it will stabilize. Temperature is one of the factors, but if in the case of temperature, when temperature increases, photosynthesis increases, but it drops off when it reaches a certain threshold. First individuals known to be photosynthetic were known as the cyanobacteria, and these were the first individuals we believe to bring oxygen into the world. They were actually able to produce oxygen, since we now know that photosynthesis is a process in which oxygen is a byproduct. They are believed to have caused a catastrophic event, which was a mass extinction, for killing individuals which did not live with oxygen. This is explained by a graph which measured the amount of oxygen on the Earth 300 million years ago. It was realized that it was at the time where oxygen was peaked to about 35%, and during that time, millions of species went extinct. And because of oxygen, we have what we call banded ion formation. This is basically iron mixing with oxygen, forming iron oxide. Iron oxide then, as the iron oxide sediments and layers of iron oxide gather together They form these funny looking layers, or rather these banded patterns, known as banded iron formation. This is where our iron comes from. Now, it is evident that without photosynthesis, our planet cannot be habitable. Hence, we need photosynthesis it means that we need the plants. Not only the plants, we also need oxygen and water. If we have these two, plants, oxygen and water, our planet can be habitable. It is because of these major components that our planet is habitable. Thank you very much.